Welcome to Scars of Service, where the hidden wounds of duty take center stage. I'm Damon Clark, a combat infantry veteran. I'm joined by Danny Morton, Emergency Medical Services, and Michael Ducote, Law Enforcement and Corrections. Together, we're peeling back the layers of trauma from the front lines, whether it's the battlefield, the ambulance, or the streets. These are the stories of what we've lived through, and the moments that don't end when the shift does, and how they reshape life off duty. Raw, real, unfiltered. We're here to share the scars you can't see, along with the strength and faith it takes to bear them. Let's work through it. Welcome to a special episode of Scars of Service. This episode, Mike, Danny, and myself are going to reflect on how recording our episodes affected us, and how it allowed us to see deeper into ourselves. So, and with that being said, we're going to go straight into Mike. How did recording your episode affect your life?
When we started discussing doing this, I really didn't put a whole lot of attention on my own personal story, and there's so many other life-changing events that have taken place in my life, from PTSD, from with work, the loss of my daughter in a tragic accident, other things along the way. So I didn't really think about it until we sat down and recorded. I did go back and listen to parts of it. What it made me think about, having gone through that at that time, and counseling that I'd sought out, and different just help along the way, it made me realize how much I have grown and learned. The biggest thing is learning that I didn't have to do it all on my own, that there are other people out there that can help. And the reason I felt like James, that we recently interviewed, he said it himself. He said, there's a lot of resources for veterans, but for first responders, he said it's not really there. That was what got me going some time back. I just wanted to connect with other law enforcement that wanted to try to talk about things that may have needed some help. I just wanted to start meeting up and trying to just talk, help each other. And that's when I told you, Damon, about it. I told your brothers about it. I told other people about it. And then I run into Danny at a local store and told him about it. And he said, how about we do a podcast? And that had not crossed my mind at all. So I was like, oh, God, whatever. Where do you even start with that? But you know what? Apparently, the good Lord, the good Lord, we crossed paths for a reason. It's not for no reason. I'm sure, and this is all part of that growing process, part of the journey. I don't know where it's going to go. I wanted to do this just to help somebody somewhere that could relate and connect and get in touch and just talk. And that's what it starts with, and that's what got me wanting to get involved in some kind of way to try to help, because for the first responders, they do need a lot more resources than what I'm aware of that's available. There may be more, I don't know. So that's my side of it.
So you said you haven't even listened to your own episode?
I haven't listened to the full episode. No, I have not played it back and listened to the whole entire thing.
Why not?
It's weird listening to my voice.
Because you sound like a Coon-ass hillbilly.
I guess, yeah, that's what they say. You know, everybody started picking. Oh, when they start hearing this podcast and hear your voice, oh my God, they're gonna say, "Well, I gotta listen to this." Just where is that dude from?
Yeah, their mind instantly goes to the water boy.
Oh man, they did us an injustice with that.
Yeah, they did. They really did. They really did.
And to boot, they didn't even speak no real French.
I know. I know.
Oh, je connais pas.
Uh-huh.
I found the entire Bobby Boucher thing was quite funny. I heard it the entire time in basic training,
Oh, I bet.
so I leaned into it. My say is,
Yeah. 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 But Mike, I wanted to touch on something you said just now. So you said you wanted to do this to just touch people and touch somebody. Recently, last week, Mike, you and I took the assist class with Andy and Angie Dixon. And on the second day, you remember Andy pulled us aside and said, because in this workshop, you all sit around and they go one by one. You introduce yourself. Why are you here? You know, what made you, what was the drive for you to come? And we split up into groups. Andy had his own group. Angie had her own group. Well, the second day, Andy pulled me and Mike aside and said, hey, so we was going around the room, and one of the females in my group said, I don't know why I'm here, but I did hear this podcast recently, Mr. Andy, with you on it. And I listened to it. It just made me feel like I needed to come. And that podcast was us. It was our podcast. So,
Yeah,
obviously we've reached people.
that was unbelievable.
It was. It really was.
What a I don't know, man. That was a blessing,
It was.
and
It really
and,
was.
and much needed
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
Thank God. So through the podcast, we got somebody to attend the workshop.
Yeah.
Assist. There's just so much good that could come from of it in that person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You know.
Yeah, because I'm sure they were questioning, should I go? That's 2 days. But Mike, as you've seen at the end of that class, like everybody else did, none of us regretted going to that class. I mean, we would have done it 100 times over,
No.
and we got a lot out of it. So yeah, by reaching that one person and her going, I'm sure she gained a lot, and it's probably going to be a snowball effect. Hopefully she learned what she learned and went because of us, and takes it from there and saves some lives, you know.
I want to give her a shout out. If you hear this, thank you so much for attending, and thank you so much for letting us know it from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
well, even at the Save Sin Law 5K, y'all stepped away from the table for a while. One of the groups that came up, there was a 12-year-old boy. He walks up, looks at me, and says, I subscribe to your podcast. And that just floored me.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, because I was stunned when, I'll say this, that came from the workshop. I was stunned when we were told, hey, we got 9-year-olds attempting suicide.
Not just attempting, committing
going through
suicide.
with it.
Yeah, committing suicide.
And somebody said as young as 4 years
Yes.
old.
Yes. Yep.
My brain can't even begin to process that.
Right.
4 years old.
Right.
So, Danny, you want to tell us about life after Danny's story?
Well, I guess the main thing, the biggest thing that I realized, when you go through trauma and you get PTSD, you get diagnosed with PTSD, it's a battle, and you're in your own little world. One thing that I used to hate, I hate when somebody would tell me, you're stronger than you think. You've made it through things that other people couldn't. You're stronger than, don't tell me that. I hate that. Absolutely hate that. You don't know the strength I got. I'm barely hanging on right now. I don't know how I put one foot in front of the other, through the years of different trials and tribulations. And I think re-listening to my story and listening to y'all's, I guess even though it was me talking, just hearing it told back to me made me realize the strength that we all actually do have. That's probably the most thing I got out of my story. It was just the strength we do have. And looking back on it, different events with y'all and myself, I don't know how. I don't know how we made it through it. I know I could speak for all three of us, praying a lot. You have to have strong faith to go through something like this, or you wouldn't make it through it. You
Yeah.
wouldn't at all. You wouldn't make it. So that's probably what I got out of mine, was just mentally reliving a lot of it and looking and probably stopping and self-evaluating like some of the major things and all of the stuff, because pretty much most of my story was all about mental health. I didn't tell a story and get to the mental health. I started straight out the chute with mental health, and I
Yeah.
guess I took each individual story or whatever I was telling at the time and stopped and reflected on that, and just really thought about how did I get past that right there, that I went through right there. How did I get up the next morning? What was my next step? And I guess that's what it did for me. I just evaluated each event and what it took, the strength and the faith it took to get past it.
Definitely. Yeah, especially the part in your story where, if I remember correctly, didn't at one point a counselor want to pay you to go see him?
Well, he didn't want to pay me, but he handed me my insurance card back. He said, I don't want your copay. I don't want you, I will never bill your insurance. I don't want your copay. He said, you are what I went to school for. He said,
Yeah.
you are what I went to school for. And not only did he do it on his own dime, but he upped it from 2 days a week to 3 days a week
Yeah.
and wanted to see me longer times. So, yeah, that worried me a lot. That really did, because I go there. Okay, of course, I got insurance. You fixing to give you a copay. That's what you do. Hopefully you can help me. And you get to somebody like that and them look at you, their mouth drop, after filling out the paperwork and just giving them a little rundown from birth till why I'm sitting here now. And their mouth drop, tears comes down their face, and them hand you your insurance card back and say, you need me. I'll never charge you a penny.
Yeah.
You're what I went to school for. And basically what I was hearing in my own head is, you're gonna be a clinical learning for me too. I'm gonna learn some stuff from you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man, that's like I just kept thinking, wow.
it did. It's like, yeah, it did make me nervous, because I was thinking, I know how bad off I am because I made this move to come see him. But then after he did that, I'm thinking, am I worse off than I even think? Like, is it worse than I even think?
Yeah, not knowing that.
I know. Just because, I'd watched some documentary one time, and it said, if you think you're bad off and hopeless, then you're really not. Then you're not. And I kind of felt that way with him, because I felt, okay, he might be hope. There's hope there. So I don't think I'm crazy. Did that mean I really was, And
Yeah.
it was just a long battle. It was a long battle, a long struggle, a long battle. But there's a lot of credit to be given to him, and mainly to God, because I did a lot of praying. Oh my God, I did a lot of praying.
Yeah. I don't know. The central thing is, no matter what religion that you attach yourself to, no matter what you call yourself, I think the common denominator, you have to have faith
Yeah,
in what's more than you,
yeah.
what's bigger than you.
Mm-hmm. You do. You do.
So,
Faith in God and living in His way helps to become a better person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That too. And with my situation, my story and everything, faith changed a whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. Which is what I think really contributed to growth.
Yeah. And like you said earlier about us, you talking with Damon and his siblings, and me and you running into each other. Yeah, no, things like that don't happen by chance. I don't believe in coincidence.
No.
Things happen for a reason. You were standing where you were standing, and I was standing, and we crossed for a reason. That was divine intervention.
Yeah,
You know,
I do believe.
it,
And each person has their own journey with that.
yeah, they do.
The only thing I can tell somebody that is not a believer is the reason I would venture to say that maybe at least the three of us are still sitting here today is and trying to prosper is because of that
Yeah,
faith. If I didn't have that, if I didn't have even just an ounce of that, I wouldn't be here today. I'd have been gone a long time ago.
right.
You know?
Exactly. Because I promise you, me sitting here above ground is not by my own doing. I can assure you.
No. And being in military and law enforcement and correction side and EMS, I mean, you see most of the time the worst people in their worst states of mind, people in their worst situations.
Yeah.
It's not ever for anything good.
No, yeah.
And
But that's pretty much our mission for this podcast is to have other like-minded people and people in the same fields to reach out to and them reach out to us, because I think I said it in my episode. Other people can go to Thanksgiving dinner and they all talk about how's work going, how's the welding going, how's managing the store going, how's this going. I can't sit at the table and talk about how mine's going. Nobody wants to know. And second, if I did want to talk about it or needed to talk about it, no.
yeah.
That you just can't do that.
And I remember something. My criminal justice professor at LSUA, Miss Beth, awesome professor, had a good career, interesting career in law enforcement. Little lady, little in stature, but big at heart. She told me one time, she said, just always make sure in this line of work. She talked about the blue curtain. She said, you have to have friends in the same field in law enforcement, but you have to have those friends outside of it to connect with them and disconnect from this. Because if not, it will not be good. It was hard to do because of just what you're saying. You can't talk
Right.
to those people about
can't.
it, and you really need to, and you can't talk to them. But then at the same time, which was my experience, you can't talk to a lot of the people you're working with either.
No, you can't.
In their defense, for whatever reason, they're going through their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're dealing with their own things, and some you just can't talk to. And
Yeah,
man, it'll put you in a bad position.
it will. Yeah.
You end up having nobody to talk to. Then you start keeping all this crap inside, and then you start making decisions that are not good for yourself. And then yeah.
Well, if you just stay behind that wall, just being friends with the ones doing the same line of work, you really have to step out of it. And I know from the military, the difficult part was the way I talked to my Army buddies in combat. I can't talk to relatives or friends that same way because they hadn't been through the same stuff. It's kind of the most noticeable part is the sense of humor. So when you deal with death every single day and dealing with the fact you might die every day, you get a dark sense of humor.
Some good old dark humor, yeah.
And people don't understand that type of dark humor. And they don't understand that unless they walked in the shoes we walked in.
Well, and people don't understand dark humor, and it is, and they don't understand that unless they walked in the shoes we walk in. They don't. And then they want to look at you like, what the hell, But
it is a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism. It's almost an involuntary coping mechanism. You have to have it, or you literally will crash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
That's a key thing people can work on is just maybe learning how to talk to people that aren't within the same field. Put down the rifle, take off the badge, turn off the sirens, and try to bridge that communication gap.
That's true.
Oh God, yeah, and relate and tell stories. That's man, that
I have stories from the Army that, unless you were there, you wouldn't connect with because it was a type of you had to be there kind of moment. And you tell it to normal people or anyone outside of that group, you sound insane.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you find this so funny? But that's kind of like the secret handshake of the group.
But well, before I don't know if we should get into that right now or not. But we didn't get to you yet, Damon, on yours. How about your story and afterwards?
Listening to my episode, especially when I'm driving, it kind of lets me step outside myself. And I found there was something very cathartic about it. It helped me understand myself better and pinpoint things I needed to work on. It's like stuff I never realized until I heard myself saying it through the speakers of my truck. That's why I'm like this, and this connects to that. Now the puzzle is coming together. And it kind of helped me to know what I needed to work on and how to better adjust with it.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to put out there, we told our stories. We have other people that have told theirs. We have some great things ahead, some amazing stories. The next one that we're going to be recording, it's what we lived, it's what we saw, how we processed things. It can be looked at, from a lot of different angles, a lot of different ways, from different folks, different people who have lived it, the people that have served with you, Damon, Danny, people that have worked on, side by side with you on the truck, and people that have worked with me in city police, state police, corrections.
Every story is the perspective of the person telling the story, their perspective. It's people opening up, so maybe someone connects with that story. I'm going through this. Maybe I need to look at this. The same stuff I found listening to my own episode. If anyone else connects with that and it helps them, if it saves one life, telling the story is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dealing with VA 20-something years ago, it was quite disheartening when I first got out. VA now has all these resources that it's not the same VA from 20 years ago where treatment was a handful of pills. Let us know if this fixes it.
Yeah, no, from what I hear today, I mean, they're trying to get it right.
There's better resources, and it's not just over medication, just even going to the dentist to get wisdom teeth removed. I don't work like that. I need a logical reason. I need to make stuff connect. I'm to the point where after the first time dealing with VA, don't even suggest any kind of antidepressant or anti-anxiety. I'm not going to take it.
Dude, okay, so today I went to see a certain physician, and we got to talking about some things, and I knew, with Assist, and we got to talking, and she said there's a test that we do now. It's fairly new. She said you do a swab, a cheek swab,
I did it 2 months ago.
and she said that charts out so
It shows,
much stuff.
yeah, it shows any antidepressants, anti-anxiety. It'll show you like a green level, a red level, a yellow level, and because one of the antidepressant problems is having to try. You got to give it 2-3 weeks to work. Well, this don't work. This causes suicidal ideations. Try another one. And that pretty much takes the guess game out of it. It'll see what your DNA works close with. You'll have a green level that works great with you. The yellow is like, it'll work okay with you, and then you have a red that's like, don't even bother.
Yeah, it basically tells you what medicines are going to work for you with your body, your DNA,
Yep,
I guess.
absolutely.
Dude, that's freaking huge.
It is.
I didn't know that existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I get that. Because, they tried a bunch of stuff with me, too. It's been a long time ago. But for somebody that feels that they need it, this is a huge thing, man. And instead of going through what we'd went through, throwing everything at you they could think of, well, here you go. They can narrow it down to what'll work with you, I didn't know that. I didn't know they had that.
Well, see, yeah, some people need it. You know, some people need the medication because of chemical imbalances and things like that. And some just for like what this podcast is for, you know, have the issues because of PTSD and just life events, you know.
Yeah, and it's not. You know, I stayed on one medication for a while, and then one day was like my doctor told me. He said, you know, from just from talking and the visits and everything, he said, it might be time to look at backing off of it. And I was like, okay, and I did, and haven't felt a difference since. I guess I guess it did what it had to do
Yeah.
during that time. It wasn't ever
time.
going to be something permanent.
Yeah.
I refuse the prescription pain pills. I'll just deal with it. I don't want to touch pills. Let's find another way to work through this. What scares me a lot is I'll build up tolerances. I'd rather not get to that point and risk going over the edge to where it doesn't even work anymore. I know that I have an addictive personality. I'm being introspective enough to know that. And once I realize that, I prevent it before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Well, and that's each person's different, you know. You have to follow your own plan with your doctor, and you know your body.
Yeah.
I've been able to drop everything but cigarettes. That's my Achilles heel. I think I'm going on 32 years I've been smoking. I've quit a couple times. I think the longest I quit was for 14 weeks, and that was at Fort Benning because you didn't even have time when you got there. Like now, I don't even keep them on me. Even at work, I try not to keep them on me. Put them in the truck or put them somewhere I have to actively go get. I find that helps.
Man, I've seen people come off of so many different drugs, but that cigarette. Of course, I've never seen a cigarette make people like, you know, binge and come up missing for a week neither. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
But nonetheless, it's still an addiction.
It's still an addiction. Well, look. Right now in my right pocket I got a pack of cigarettes. In my left pocket I got a can of dip. You know? Yeah, there's all kinds of addictions.
Yeah.
You know, we should dedicate one whole episode to that. Addictions. Oh my goodness, we could talk for days.
Yeah.
I've seen people that were addicted to Dr. Pepper. As soon as they got up, they had to have that Dr. Pepper.
So speaking of the caffeine addiction, back in the Gap, working the ambulance, I definitely have it. I drank some coffee. Well, not realizing it had become an addiction. Then I noticed you know, because you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't drink coffee too late in the day. I won't sleep tonight." So it'll, you know, so now it got to a point to where I had to drink a cup of coffee before I went to bed to be able to sleep. And now sometimes I'll get up in the middle of the night and if I can't go back to sleep, I have to drink a cup of coffee just to be able to go back to sleep. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I've been in situations where I've had to drink a Red Bull to calm down.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
I think we covered it. We just wanted to get this down and get it recorded on the podcast just to do something more informal and just share ideas. And if anybody has something that some ideas they like to share with us, reach out, email us, come sit down with us and talk, record. That's what we do, and just trying to reach out and really just want to help. Just trying to help in any way we can.
Yeah, to contact Scars of Service, on the channel description on YouTube, we have the email address where you could contact us.
We are trying to do what we can to cover, you know, the different fields of service. And if anybody listening has any information that can help to get it out there for first responders, please let us know. We're constantly trying to find that. Any information you have be appreciated and shared, and just let us know.
See, that's what I was fixing to say. It's not just, I mean, it just so happens that you're military, you're law enforcement, I'm EMS. that's not the limit to this podcast. That's not the limit by no means.
No.
Scars of Service.
Yeah.
Scars of Service covers a broad spectrum.
Yeah, well, and that too. I would have no idea where to look for places that could, hone in on and help, specific to say nurses or doctors or because the doctors is a big
Yeah,
one. I
it
think
is.
in the workshops with
Oh, dentist.
but medical
Dentist is number 1 to suicides. Is what statistics
number
show.
1 or number 2.
1.
Dentist.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah. I was surprised to find out veterinarians is high up there.
Yeah, so I don't know. Any information please turn it in. If you're in that field and please share it with us so we can have it available to share with others.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and listening. And don't forget to look for it coming out soon. This next episode we have is going to be amazing. It's a lady that's a caseworker that works with the youth. And from what she's explained, she's been working on writing a book about her life, her experiences, and her work. She's decided she would like to come on the podcast and share that story with us. But she is in the process. She is going to write the book. Please don't miss that one. That is going to be an amazing one. And thank you all for joining us. Good night.